Hello everyone and welcome in today's video. I am Sohini Biswas, a third year law student and currently I am doing an internship at the Lexis & Company. Today I'll be discussing on the topic of perjury and false evidences in India. So let us begin and understand the concept of perjury. Perjury as a crime is not stated in the IPC. The crime referred to is false evidence. Section 191 of the IPC deals with false evidence, which deals with making a false statement under an oath which he believes to be false and still makes it knowingly as it is falsehood. The punishment in Section 193 of IPC would extend till 7 years with fine. Intention fabrication of false evidence would further increase the term for another 3 years with fine. False evidence would also be punished if one uses corrupt or false or fabricated evidence with knowledge of it being false. Such an act would be punished under Section 196 of the IPC. Section 195 is an inherent power of the court to make a complaint in case of a false evidentiary document or evidence presented before the court. The same should interfere in the administration of justice. The section authorizes a preliminary inquiry as it thinks necessary, and then a subsequent complaint can be made under Section 340 of the CRPC. This power should be used with care and consideration. The perjury committed should be in action taken is expedient in the interest of the justice. Now, what is the procedure we can move forward with? The Section 344 of CRPC. In this section introduces an additional alternative procedure to punish perjury by the very court before which it is committed, in place of the old Section 479A, which did not have the desired effect to eradicate the evils of perjury. Special courts have been vested upon the two specified court, that is the Court of Session and Magistrate of First Class, to take cognizance of an offence of perjury which has been committed by a witness in a proceeding before it, instead of filing the complaint before a magistrate. The offender is tried and punished in the manner of the summary trial. The power to the court is exercised after the matter has been considered by the court to the time of delivery of judgment or final order. The offender or accused would be would give reasonable opportunity of showing cause before being tried and punished. The maximum sentence under this section, which can be imposed in an imprisonment of 3 months or fine up to 500 or both. The procedure provided in the section is an alternative to one under Section 340 of Section 343 of the CRPC. A summary procedure can be opted for under this section, or more severe or ordinary procedure can be resorted to under Section 340 of CRPC. The same lies on the discretion of the court. The object of the provision is to deal with perjury and its evils in a summary way. Perjury was assumed alarming proportions if oral evidence is taken into account. The court needs to be effectively tackled in this situation. Section 340 of the CRPC provides that when upon an application made to it in its behalf or otherwise, any court of its opinion that it is expedient in the interest of the justice that an inquiry should be made into offences under Clause B of the subsection 1 of Section 195 CRPC, which appears to have been committed or relating to the proceeding continuing in a court or in respect of a document that has been produced before the court as citing an evidence in the court, such court may, after making preliminary inquiry, if it is find necessary, it can make a complaint before the magistrate of the first class who has the jurisdiction to set the area of the said area. Now let us understand perjury with the help of some case laws. First is the case of Satish Kumar versus Union of India. In this case, it was dealt that prosecution under Section 340 CRPC in regard to a statement under Order 10 Rule 2 of the court. A part giving answer in an examination under Order 10 Rule 2 is neither giving evidence nor an affidavit. Therefore, the same section would not be invoked in Order 10 Rule 2 of the court. It relied on B.K. Gupta versus Damodar H. Bajaj. Next is the case of Iqbal Singh Marwar and another versus Meenakshi Marwahant and another. The Supreme Court was of the view that the court is not bound to make a complaint regarding commission of an offence referred to Section 195 Clause 1B of CRPC, but that a course is to be adopted only if it is required in the interest of justice. The expediency is to be judged on the basis on the effect the fabrication has and the administration of the justice, and not the inquiry that the person has suffered due to the perjury committed. Now, what is the role of the expert witnesses? The law identifies expert witnesses as a separate position from the fact witness or eyewitness. He serves as an adversary character, the expert witness, for testing the accuracy of conclusion so as to enable the judge to form his independent judgment through the application of the criteria of the facts of the case. The credibility of the witness is dependent upon the reason stated in support of the conclusion and the data, that is material, that he furnishes from this conclusion. The evidence is the only confirmatory or explanatory of direct or circumstantial evidence. Therefore, merely because an expert has tendered an opinion while also furnishing the basis of an opinion without being conclusive cannot be said to have committed perjury. Hence, mere rejection of an expert witness by itself may not also warrant intimidation or initiation of proceeding under Section 340 of CRPC. The order under Section 340 can be appealed under Section 341 of CRPC. Section 343 of CRPC prescribes procedure to be followed while dealing with such case. Now, next is the case of Salman Khan hit and run. The very famous case, the prosecution in the Salman Khan hit and run case rejected the testimony of the driver who had testified. The prosecution alleged that he had lied under oath on advice of the defense lawyer and thereby was to face the charge of perjury. His owning up to the crime showed suspicious behavior as it was alleged that Salman Khan was behind the wheel. The next is the case of the Best Bakery cake. In this case, the case took place in Vadodara, Gujarat. Around 1,000 rioters attacked the bakery, which was also resident of the late Habibullah Sheikh, at midnight and killed the family as well as the workers. Zahira was a witness in this case given. However, she later said that she had lied in her statement due to the threats. She was therefore saved and said that being a hostile witness and the charges of perjuries were pressed against her. What is the conclusion that we can derive? The procedure for perjury is complex in India. It is seldom used. Witnesses also turn hostile during examination. Threats and inducement are a major cause of perjury. There is no adequate legal force to protect the witnesses. However, protection of witnesses constitutes one of the fundamental principles of criminal law. Perjury also not only affects the instant cases but also adversely affects the administration of justice where truth is compromised. Apart from wrong conviction and makes a mockery of the criminal justice system, Indian courts did not take the serious action against people alleged for perjury. The punishment and sanction for perjury is less in India compared to other countries. In New York, for instance, the sentence served is of 15 years. It is essential to tackle the problem as it affects and adversely the very foundation of the criminal justice system of India. Thank you.